Hey, ambitious souls, welcome back to Christian Moon Business. And today we are going to be going over how to create a blog post in Wix. Okay, so if you notice, I'm actually in my dashboard that is inside of Wix. I'm on my home page. You're gonna want to scroll down to blog in order to create a blog post. So once you go to blog, you can scroll over to the right and you're going to go to create new posts. And that will be the tab that you will use to basically create a blog post from scratch. So you have the option of pretty much free writing directly into Wix's site, or you can do like I do, which is put all the information on a Word document, how exactly I want everything set up, the images, where they go, the title, the information, and then transfer that into Wix. I find that this is just a much more easier and cleaner method. And so that's what I do. And I do have a video on how to create blog posts. If you guys want to check that out, I will add that in my link in the description. But yeah, so now I'm going to go back here. And the first thing that they want you to do is add a title. So add a catchy title. So since I already have that information, I'm just going to pretty much plug it in. So I'm going to copy this and then put it right there. And it's a little bit misaligned, so I'm just going to move that back really quick. So then once you have your title, the next thing that you are going to do is start your actual blog post. So you can start your blog post by actually uploading your images or videos, or you can actually start the post here. But with me, if you notice in my format, I had my title first and then my image. So I want to add this image to Wix. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here. And here they have spots where you can add the image, you can add the gallery, you can have a video, a GIF, a file, all that type of stuff. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here to add my image. And when I click here, these are images that are already pretty much pre-saved that I've already uploaded, into my site. Or if you need a image from your computer, you can upload the media from here. And actually, let me click out of there. So I know that I want this image, so I'm going to add this to the page. All right, and so this is it, and it looks a little big, so honestly I'm gonna minimize that. So you can do that, you can minimize it if you want to. That's just the way that it comes up. Maybe bring it out a little bit more. Okay, so now that I have minimized that, I'm going to go and I'm going to start my actual blog post. Okay, so I'm going to save that. The save is actually always saving, so it's auto turned on. So then I'm going to add my blog post. So all right, so I'm going to go to the next section. So I just pretty much click right below the picture to continue, and I want to kind of give it some space, so I will press enter pretty much to just go down a little bit to have some space between my picture and my blog post. So next I'm going to go back to my post and I'm going to pretty much start putting in the paragraphs. So I'm going to put this paragraph in first. All right, and I'm going to have to go back and fix all that, but this is like a rough draft. So then I'm gonna go down, press enter to just kind of give some space between it, and I will go back to the next one, which is here. This is one of my benefits that I list out, so I'm gonna add that in there, and then go down a little bit. All right, benefit 2. Go down. Benefit 3. And this grammar checker that is on here, that's not through Wix. That's something that I installed separately. I believe that's Grammarly, if I'm not mistaken, that kind of like checks my grammar and everything. I'm not 100% sure if Wix has something like that in their system that you can install, but that's something, that's a plug-in. So then I'm gonna go down here, put this in here. This is like the last bit of it. Well, actually, I'm gonna separate these paragraphs and put that in there. And then I have one more paragraph before I get to basically uploading more images. Okay, so now I have pretty much all of my content, so the actual blog post that's in there. So if I have a section here where I am asking the customer or whoever I'm writing to in this blog post, if they want to check out images of this event space, they can click here. So that's why I have this outlined in red, to let me know to put images there. So what I'll do is I'll just put a little bit of space, and then I'll go here again and I will go to images. So I will take images that I already have, which are in here. Actually, I don't have any images for that, so let's just put some fake images. So say for instance, I'll put that there, add to the page, and then I'll minimize this a little bit because I want to put a few of them in there. So I'll go back, add another one. Let's just say this one, and add to the page. Oh, actually, I was in the wrong spot. Let me click off of there. You can delete that. I'll go back down to that right there. Okay. So I'm going to add another image. Add it to the page. And then I'm going to make it a little smaller. Yeah. Okay. So also I did want to mention, so they do have images in here that are pretty much like stock photos. So you can go down and you can add those in there as well. So see media from Wix, Shutterstock, Upsplash. I usually don't use those, to be honest, but they are available to use. And actually Wix has like a lot of compliments on having some really good images. So you can use those, or you can use your own personal images. I try to use a lot of my personal images, and I also get a lot of images from Canva. So I use those as well. But my website is pretty new because I'm just starting this consulting firm. My other website that I used to use a lot of images from Canva for my blog posts. So yeah, so I'll put these images here. And then the next thing that I see is that there's another paragraph there, right? So I'm going to click here to copy it, and I'm going to add that paragraph, right? And then if you notice in that paragraph, it's saying download my free checklist here. So I'm going to go down a little bit more, and here it says to put a clickable link to download. So this is just a note for me to remember to do that. So say for instance, if I had a particular link that I wanted them to download, then I can click here and I can add either a file if that's something that I want for them to have. So say for instance, I don't know, if this was a file, then I would click there to add that. Or let me go back here. If I wanted to add maybe a URL link, so something from the web, I can use this where they can click right on there. If it was a video, so say for instance, if I wanted to put like, instead of download my free checklist, check out this video on this, then I will click the video tab. And then say for instance, if it was from my YouTube page, then I already have this up to copy the link and then add it directly on there. So say for instance, add here. And so now I have my video included where they can just click right on there and see it. Okay. So then that is the end of my blog post, but I also wanted to show you guys if I wanted to actually add a button. So say for instance, I wanted to have them go back to my website for something. So, hey, if you guys want to book, feel free to book with us. Then I can also go here and add a button for to pretty much send them back. So you'll go under elements. Under elements, you have dividers, you have tables. You can even do polls where they can pretty much vote on whatever the topic is that you're asking them. And so here I'll insert a button. So this is my button. It says click me, but it doesn't have to. If you see, I'm stretching it out a little bit just so it looks, better than a small version. So you can align it whichever way you want to. You can change the words on here. So if you go to the settings, the button text. So say for instance, I wanted them to check out my website. I can say check out my site or something like that. You kind of want to keep it simple. You don't want to make it like a long drawn out sentence. And then you can actually add the URL. So say for instance, if this was the URL of whatever it was that I wanted. It can be like a particular page of my website or whatever. Then you can add that on there. So actually, let me go to my website and show you guys. So okay, so say for instance, I want them to go to a service of mine. Or actually, I want them to go to my about page. Then I can just go here, copy this URL, and then click right on it. And then save it. All right. So then once they actually go in, and if you see the website is always auto saving, so that's great too. So you're not losing information. But so once the blog post is posted, then they can just go directly here and click check out my site or click whatever it is that you want them to see. So they don't have to go scrolling back, or you kind of have to tell your reader what you want them to do. So that's a good way to do that. So yeah. So that's pretty much it. There's a lot of different things that you can do in here. Like for instance, in the settings tab, you can put which image. You can change the image that you want to appear on the actual blog post. So before someone gets into the blog post, the cover image, you can change that. You can say when you want it to publish. You can say which writer. So Scarlett is actually my website designer. If I wanted to add a new writer, or if it's myself. You can also go to the advanced settings where you can write like a description about what the blog post is. You can even add a related blog post. So say for instance, I want them to also check out another blog post. Then I can choose which blog post I want them to check out. Click whichever one, then press done, and it will link to that blog post as well. And that'll kind of help with your engagement, pretty much help the reader to continue on to your site to find even more useful information. Of course, you want to have your comments on for engagement. And then you have SEO, which is really good. Your SEO settings. Then you have different categories. So say for instance, this is a food blog or something like that, then we can pretty much create a category for that. So they are itemized according to the categories. You can add different tags. You can monetize your blog. For instance, if you want to actually like make money from subscriptions, so people being able to go on your blog, but they can't view the actual blog unless they are signed up for a particular subscription plan. Myself, I don't do that. I use my blog more as a informational blog or resources for my customers or potential customers. So I don't have that installed. This is more so information for them, So yeah, so that pretty much sums it up. That's how you pretty much put a blog post into Wix. And there's just a lot of different things. They even have a translate button where you can translate your blog to different languages. Okay, so there's so much that you can do, and Wix is very user friendly, honestly, and a lot of them are I feel like pretty much work the same, different platforms and stuff. It's just where the actual buttons are, but they pretty much still work the same, if that makes sense. But yeah, so this wraps that up. And if you guys like this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel for more of these videos. If you want to see more tutorials, like basically in Wix as a whole. So different things in Wix that you may want to learn how to do, or just any tutorials or any type of suggestions, feel free to let me know in the comments, and I will be sure to try to make content around that. And I'll see you guys in the next video.